Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have this beautiful bronzy sultry fall inspired makeup look. I have my beautiful model Nat here and we're going to start off with foundation. I'm pretty sure I'm using Too Faced and NARS, and I'm just buffing that into her skin with the Real Techniques brush, which is one of my favorite foundation brushes to use. I'm just patting that into the skin. I'm doing more of like a medium to full coverage because I want it to be soft but still glam. And I'm just going over with a beauty blender to buff out the edges, and I'm starting on contour. I'm probably using another foundation, like a deeper foundation color to contour, just because I feel like I like the tones. The tones are more warm. I'm just going over the perimeters of her face, her cheekbones, with another Real Techniques brush. This brush is actually for blending out concealer, but I sometimes use it to put on the contour. I'm going back in with the foundation brush to buff out the contour, a soft seamless blend. And I left this part in just to show you guys how long, well, not how long, but how much goes into buffing out and blending out to make sure like everything looks smooth and flawless. Like, I'm just taking my time. As you can see, I'm using a lot of tapping motions when I blend, and I'm going down the jawline, just making sure everything is seamless. A little bit of nose contour using the same shades that I use around the perimeter of her face, and I'm just using an angled brush for that. Now I'm applying concealer. I'm using the Too Faced concealer, which is one of my favorite concealers to use besides the Tarte. Not everyone likes Tarte, but I feel like for this full coverage look, it's perfect. I'm just applying to, as you can see, I'm keeping the inner corner part of her eyes free of product so I can put a lighter shade. And this is the Milani concealer. I feel like this concealer is really slept on. It's so, I mean, look how it's applying. It's so creamy, it's full coverage, but it's lightweight, which I love. So I'm using that just to brighten the spots of her face that I feel like just need a little bit more brightening. Her chin, her forehead, the inner parts of her eyes, or underneath her eyes and the inner corners rather. I'm just blending that out with my beauty blender. And when I go to blend out underneath the eyes, I like to use my foundation brush just to like buff out the edges first, because it still has some of that foundation on there. So it gives you more of a seamless blend and transition. It looks really effortless and flawless. And please excuse the fact that I'm in these frames. I had no idea that it was this far away until afterwards. And every time I zoom in, it's too close. So just ignore me, please. And I'm just buffing out against the nose. Now I'm applying this liquid blush by Rare Beauty. I love the shade. It's really soft, has a nice satin matte finish. And it looks really pretty under setting powder. So I'm going in with Laura Mercier translucent powder to set the face. And I'm baking the sides of the nose for a reverse contour snatch. The nose, the chin, everywhere where you put concealer, you can apply the powder as well. I'm using a bigger brush just because it covers more of the surface area, and I love the way this brush diffuses the powder. And now I'm going in with this brush from Morphe. It's part of the Jaclyn Helix Morphe collection. I love that brush. Just to apply bronzer, and I was using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish for the bronzer. And I'm baking underneath the contour so it's nice and defined. She has beautiful cheekbones, so I just wanted to make sure that came through. And now I'm starting on brows using my L'Oreal Brow Stylist pencil, and I'm just shaping the brows. I don't like going too heavy on brows. I like to keep them really natural, so I'm just shaping them, and then I'm gonna also carve them out with concealer afterwards. Now for the eyeshadow, I'm going in with this brown shade. It's like a really warm transition color shade, and all the colors that we're going to be using are going to be warm browns because it is a sultry look. It's fall inspired. Of course, you got to bring out the browns. I'm just buffing this into her crease and making sure it's nicely blended. I'm blending out the edges of that with a lighter transition color, lighter brown, to make sure everything just looks seamless. I'm doing the same, of course, to the other side. I like to bring it up in the front of the brow just to give it that natural, buffed out look. And then I'm going in with the shade on the lid. It's like a shimmery, bronzy shade that just looks so... it's what gives the look the sultry look. Like, it's just perfect for the fall. I'm just applying that to the lid. And most important part when applying shimmers is buffing out the edges with a transition color. That's such an underrated step. I feel like it makes it look just blended and it looks more seamless and you can't see any harsh lines. And now I'm applying this Essence eyeliner. That's a black eyeliner on the waterline. I'm smudging that out to give that sultriness, that smokiness, that depth. And I'm going to buff that out with an eyeshadow using my detail brush here. I'm using a black eyeshadow. I'm going over it with a brown eyeshadow just to give it layers and to make sure it's really, really smoky, because obviously this is a sultry look. I'm going to say it a million times, but that's what gives it that look. As you can see here, I'm kind of dragging out that wing to give that light cat eye. If you're a client or your model, or even yourself, if you want like something subtle, just use the eyeshadow and just wing it out a little bit. And it'll be effortless and it'll still give you that nice pretty cat eye shape. And now we're just applying the black eyeliner in the waterline. This part isn't anybody's favorite, but she got through it. And then we're just buffing out on the lower lash line the same eyeshadows we used at the top. And I start with the darkest shade and then I buff it out with the lighter shade to give like a really smoky look. This is also another underrated step. Setting your eyebrows with powder just makes them softer. And I'm just doing some dusting. I'm just taking off the translucent powder that was sitting there when I was doing her eyes. And I'm just making sure that's all cleaned up. So this is the first layer of blush. When I say first layer, I mean like I probably went in like three or four different types of blushes, and it still doesn't look intense because, for one, I'm using a brush that's very like, you see the hairs are very loose, like they're not really dense, so I can disperse the product with sheer layers. And so I'm just building it up. I'm starting with this peachy shade. It kind of melts into the bronzer really well. And then I'm going in with my MAC palette. I probably grabbed a couple of more peachy, pinky shades in there just to layer it on top. As you can see, it's very, very light layers, but they give color to the face. And it looks subtle and it looks just soft. And I'm just dusting off the bake again, and I'm brightening under the eyes with this Dragon Beauty powder. I don't even know if she sells these anymore, but I love adding this to add just more light underneath the eyes. And I'm starting on the lips. I'm outlining with MAC Cork lip liner, which is one of my favorite lip liners for lighter skin tones, just to give a nice pouty, glossy lip. And I'm blending that out with a eyeliner brush. No, this is an eyeshadow brush. I'm just buffing it out. I like it to be blended. I feel like this is an underrated step as well, because it just makes it look neat and makes it look just, I don't know, just start blending out your lip liner and thank me later. period. I'm taking my time. It just looks, I don't know, it just looks neat. And I love that. And you could have kept this lip matte, but for the purposes of this look, I'm going to add a nude gloss. I'm pretty sure this is Milk and Honey by NYX, which is one of my favorite lip glosses. It's so pretty. It's juicy. And makes the lips look super pouty, which I love. More blush. Like I said, this is the MAC blush. It's a super pink. It looks super pink in the pan, but like obviously when I put it on, it doesn't look crazy. And also it just depends on how much you pick up as well. But I love me a pink blush to top everything off. Mascara. And setting spray. And we are all done with this sultry fall makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell me what else you guys want to see. I can't speak today. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.